Hello and welcome to Legal Thinking with me, Ed Wootton, just on my own today because Liam has apparently lost his voice. But today we've got a good quick episode for you on e-scooters, whether they're legal, which ones are and aren't legal, whether they count as vulnerable road users, and how they're catered for in the highway code as well. So yeah, definitely worth a listen. We brought on Sophie Feeney from our injury division to answer a few questions. Okay, so yeah, thanks for joining us, Sophie. Today, obviously, we're talking about e-scooters. Now, there's a bunch of kind of misconceptions out there about e-scooters and whether they're legal or illegal, or which ones are, which one aren't. Can you perhaps clarify the situation for us?
Yeah, of course. So yeah, as you say, there's a lot of misconceptions, and I think the public are confused as to whether e-scooters are illegal or legal. The present position at the moment is that the rental scooters that we see sort of in our larger towns and cities, they are legal to ride on public roads and cycle lanes. Whereas the privately owned scooters, they're actually illegal at the moment. Mm-hmm. So although you can purchase them online widely, you're not actually allowed to use them on the roads or the pavements or the cycle paths. So that's where the confusion lies, is that you see one type of e-scooter being used that's legal, whereas actually ones you purchase yourself are illegal to use. I had a look online earlier, actually, just to see how easy it is to buy an e-scooter, and it's really easy. And it was quite reassuring to see that actually some of the retailers online are actually outlining the legal position as well, so people can make an informed decision about whether or not they do want to buy one. So that's the position at the moment.
Yep.
So, but there is hopefully scope for change in the future. Back in May, an announcement was made during the Queen's speech that a new transport bill was coming through, and hopefully that will include e-scooters, because, as we all know, they're becoming more popular. So, wait and see on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's just the latest in kind of more, it's perhaps less active travel than, say, cycling or walking, because you're kind of relying on a motorised kind of vehicle. But someone on an e-scooter is still a vulnerable road user, I assume. So, but then does the motorised element of it make it different? So would they then need insurance? Is there a requirement for them to wear a helmet? What do you think? What is the situation now, and what do you think might happen?
Well, the reason the privately owned e-scooters are illegal is because under the Road Traffic Act, they're actually defined as a mechanically propelled vehicle. Mm-hmm. Meaning if a vehicle is defined that way, then they do actually need to be registered, taxed, insured, MOT, and the rider or the user would need to have the correct type of license for the vehicle. So that's why they are actually illegal at the moment. Whether they are vulnerable road users is a good question. The privately owned scooters that you can buy, I don't believe that the legal sort of the speed limit on those is sort of capped. I think you can get something that can go quite fast, whereas the ones in the scheme do have a capped speed limit on them. So it's difficult to say whether they will be defined as vulnerable road users, but obviously we can see why they could be. I think a lot of it will, if privately owned e-scooters do become legal, will depend upon sort of the maximum speed limit that they will be allowed to go.
So I suppose because of that, the insurance thing is hard to get to, really, because they're not legalised.
So at the moment, that's why no insurance policies are being offered for e-scooters, because they are illegal to use. Whereas if you are riding one under the rental scheme, they do provide an insurance policy as part of the agreement.
Okay.
But I know there's obviously been a lot of talk in the insurance industry about the e-scooter insurance, and there's been blogs by various insurers. So I think it's probably something that's on their radar that is to come in the future, possibly.
Yeah, For sure. And speaking of things on people's radars, the highway code has been on our radar on this podcast. I mean, you mentioned like the Road Traffic Act and how it relates to motorised vehicles and therefore e-scooters. The new highway code, does it make any provision for e-scooters at all?
Not at present, no. There is nothing in there about e-scooters at all. I don't know if that was deliberate or if they just missed them out. Mm-hmm. I think based upon the fact that the law surrounding e-scooters is so uncertain at the moment, yep. I imagine it was probably they deliberately left it out because they didn't want to cause further confusion if they did insert e-scooters in there. But hopefully if legislation is put in place in the near future for e-scooters, then a further update will be made to the highway code to place e-scooters in there and to place them in the new hierarchy of road users. I think they're going to have to, because they're going to become such a big part of sort of road users and travel. So fingers crossed that is updated as well.
Yep, another update. I'm sure people will be really excited for that. Thanks very much for your time. Very concise and comprehensive overview there. So thanks very much for your time, Sophie.
Thank you.
Great concise overview there from Sophie Feeney into e-scooters. She's a specialist in road traffic accidents and collisions and injuries resulting from that from our injury division. And you can find out more about our injury team and the services they can provide via rwkgoodman.com/injury. Also, make sure to keep an eye out for any future comment from Sophie on our website or on social media. You can take a look at rwkgoodman.com/info-hub, which is where we have all our articles from all our teams. Or you can check out at rwkg_pers_injury, which is our personal injury team's Twitter account. Otherwise, make sure to subscribe, follow us, give us a like or a rating. And most of all, thanks for listening.